I'm Natalie Margetts, and this is my audience. Let me ask you a question. How much do you value an education? Is it something that you require or something you require for your offspring? Do you think it's an essential part of life? Well, I do. And today I'm going to show you the benefits of having a college education economically, socially, and the potential of finding a job or a career compared to living a life without one. I know you've all heard the success stories of the multimillionaires who have made their fortune without even having a high school diploma, or the Bill Gates or the Steve Jobs or the Mark Zuckerbergs of life who have all dropped out of college. But what are they lacking in life without being educated? And how many of these success stories really exist? According to the PEW Research Centers at www.pewresearch.org on February 11th, 2014, they compare 6 findings for going to college. Let's look at this board and see the polling results. In this graph, it shows that between 1965 and 1979, the difference in income did not matter as much as having a high school diploma or a bachelor's degree. It's only $32,000 to $41,000. But in today's market, for having a high school diploma, you only make $28,000 a year compared to $45,500 on an average a year, which means employers are paying their employees more for being educated. And in this graph, it shows how you are using your high school or your education for college in your actual job. So if you have a degree in biology or math or science or any kind of education, you are using your degree when you're at work. So 60% of engineers say they use their degree, 43% in business, and 43% in liberal arts or education said they are using the degree that they went to college for. Higher education becomes the groundwork for a competitive job market, as you see. An article from U.S. News World Report on Education called 6 Reasons Why Graduate School Pays Off, written by Dr. Don Martin on June 29, 2012, states, in many career sectors, such as higher ed administration, public affairs, and social services, master's degrees are now replacing bachelor degrees. It is a minimal requirement for employment. Jobs that were obtainable by only having a 2-year degree, or also known as technical training jobs, are required now for having a higher education with a definitive degree. For example, the field I'm going into, sonography for the heart. It used to be an on-the-job training, or you had maybe 2 or 3 months in a technical training school and you could go out and be a sonographer. Now the requirement of an ultrasound technician is an associate's degree in allied science, and in some markets you have to have a bachelor's degree of some type, especially in allied science. This is also a requirement for an RN anywhere you go. Financially, the same article states U.S. workers between the ages of 21 and 64 with a master's degree or higher earn an average salary of $55,242 versus those with a bachelor's degree whose average annual salary is only $42,887. This is a 30% difference in salary today. If you're seeking a career in a special field or a profession, a college education, it is a prerequisite. There are several jobs that are available that do not require a degree, but there will always be some type of training or some type of courses that you will have to attend. Even if you don't need a college degree for a job, your resume will look so much more appealing with the completion of a degree on it. Sometimes a degree shows that you can finish something grueling as college classes. Being able to complete a 4 to 6 year program says something about your personality and your commitment level to a job. An article in the Washington Post called "Do the Benefits of College Education Outweigh the Cost?" by Joan Weiner, written in August of 2014, states, people with college degrees tend to keep their jobs during a recession and have lower unemployment rates over time than those with just a high school diploma. The New York Times published an article called Benefits of a College Degree in a Recession Are Outlined, written by Richard Perez Pena on January 9th, 2013, that states, among those with the highest degree, with the highest degree only being a high school diploma, only 55% had jobs, even before the downturn, and they fell to 47% after it. For young people with an associate's degree, the unemployment rate fell from 64% to 57%, but those with a bachelor's degree held strong, starting off with the strongest position and weathered the downturn best, with an employment slipping from only 59% to 65%. About 4% of these points among all people over 20 and at the educational level at from 20 and below. Sometimes it's not in the financial earnings as it is in the habits and the ability to keep a job and do what is needed to get that degree. Lastly, I want to look at the maturity level and the growth that occurs during college. There are things that you learn outside of the classroom. Other than being in the classroom and learning how to be a lawyer, a doctor, an engineer, an administrator, college experience makes humans wiser. Research and studies show that it makes you more of an interesting person by learning things you might not have found interesting before. Non-experts become experts by being submerged in the learning environment of college. There's also the fact of being introduced to other students from places and diverse backgrounds that you wouldn't meet before. You are mingling with people from different histories and cultures that give you a larger view of the world as you know it. Oscar Wilde, author of A Picture of Dorian Gray in 1891, stated, "You are never overdressed and you are never to be overeducated." Tonight, I have given you a handful of benefits and a long list of research, personal stories, and experiences of why college is so beneficial. Some will still argue that a college education is not important to being successful in life. But what I have learned is that an education is something that somebody can never take away from you. In traveling through the journey of a successful career, a college education may be the only way to get there.